Hi guys, welcome back to my amazing podcast. This is my SuperStory podcast. I'm so excited for today's fresh episode because I have an amazing veteran superstar. I'm so excited being on this seat. You can't imagine, you can only see. I am here with the amazing Dr. Chidia Maduekwe, the Chief Executive and Managing Director of Nigerian Film Corporation. Thank you so much for coming here today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Did I pronounce the name correctly, Dr. Chidia? Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm feeling cool. I'm enjoying the good weather of our great city, Abuja.
Thank you so much for allowing us to host you on this program. My SuperStory podcast is here to give the audience your SuperStory so that everybody will listen and learn and be empowered and be motivated from this. So are you ready for today's podcast, sir?
You put me in the mood. I want to run with it.
Let's go. Okay, Dr. Chidia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm an old man, clocking 70 this year.
Wow.
It's been a life journey full of God's grace. You know, I can say I've done many things during this time, but one thing remains very constant, which is God's grace over my life, no matter the situation I find myself. I was born to a family. My father was a reverend minister, ordained minister of God, one of those early educated people from Hope Water Training Institute. He graduated from Hope Water Training Institute in Calabar in the 20s.
What?
Early 20s. And then
Sweet.
Served as a headmaster teacher, graduate teacher, grade 2.
Yeah.
And rose to the level of being a visiting headmaster of school, but had the calling to serve God and joined theology. And then I was born 53, and then went to school, lived in the compound of schools then, because he was a headmaster later on. And joined school, secondary school. The war came, like every other Igbo boy. I was agitated. I ran away from house to go and join the Biafran army, carried gun. And but when I joined the army, senior army officials were always keeping me away from the front line. You know, they say I was too young, but I just felt like I needed to have, a sense of the experience in the battlefield.
Wow.
But God kept me, so I was not exposed to danger, or even though I was in the forward line on several occasions, but I was not exposed to any danger. I survived the war, continued my education, went to Kwara College of Tech for my Batch Freeman High School in Lagos for my O-levels, and then Kwara College of Tech, did my A-levels, and then went to University of Ibadan, did my medicine, graduated in 1980 as a doctor, but there was no employment. I was 9,000 some fraction in my, which means by 1980, there were not up to 10,000 doctors living and dead. Wow. Yet there was no employment, and it was It was what you people call jackpot now was check out, like the Andrew.
Wow.
I didn't feel like checking out. I said, I'm a Nigerian. I'll be in Nigeria. I'll make it work. So I created, an unusual type of medical practice, which was mobile clinic, primary health care using mobile clinics. So literally I created a job for my fellow young doctors, and then we worked with the senior colleagues, and what I was doing became attractive to the foreign audiences in through the embassies of Germany and Austria. The German embassy took notice of what I was doing, and then there was an existing German-Nigeria technical aid agreement of 1981. So I was invited to Germany, Frankfurt, where I was asked how many doctors that I required. That was under GTZ, now called GIZ. So the German government got interested and they posted 3 German doctors under the taxpayers' money to work with me in the rural areas of Abia State. But again, what we are doing got the interest of Professor Shehu Malami, the virologist who was then the CMD of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. And they invited us to Maiduguri and wanted us to take over the primary health care in Maiduguri, Borno State, then in 2 local government areas, one in Kukawa. When I read about the Boko Haram experience, I said I visited that then, and Bama local government. And it didn't work out at the point of signing the agreement, because my commissioner for health in Imo State, who had always been asking, why am I too interested in this primary care with the Germans, didn't give the support. So, but one thing led to the other, and election time came in 1989, 1991. My people sent me to the Federal House. Even in my ascension, they gave me ticket at least per month. So I was in the Federal House of Representatives. I was Chairman House Committee of Defense when Abacha was Secretary of Defense.
Wow.
So the transition, I mean, the administration was truncated. I moved on. I was appointed the pioneer Federal Character Commission member under Adamu Fika, who was the chairman. I was essay to Jim Obodo, essay on youth matters, because I drafted some proposal that brought the youth into focus, and held several other posts. Worked after Abacha died with Petroleum Equalization Fund as senior management staff. Tried to go back to politics. I resigned, and then didn't work out, and I ran for Senate. Then when APC came up, 2014, the then General Buhari, later became President Buhari, appointed me as Director Media for Buhari Support Organization. So I managed the Buhari Media as when he was a presidential aspirant, until we went to Lagos and he won, became a candidate, and then I handed over to Malam Garba Bashir.
Wow.
Thereafter, we won in 2017. I was appointed to come and head the film industry, which is part of the media arm of government.
Wow. So I'm so speechless and so in awe, because every single stage that you've been telling me about your life, I have so many questions. First of all, you don't even look a day. You look so amazing for 70. I'm sure everybody can agree. You look so amazing for 70. And now I know why. And now I know why. Because you've really lived life to the fullest. Can we even start with the fact that you were in the forefront during the Biafran War? I wasn't born during that time, but I heard a lot about the war. Sometimes the outcome of it. And it's to see that how you're such a strong, patriotic, like Nigerian, like an Igbo Nigerian. You fought when the Igbos needed you. You stepped in when your community needed you. You were there for Nigerians by holding various Nigerian positions. They're like, and you're not a medical doctor, but everything that you've been saying. How are you a medical doctor, a film, heading the Nigerian Film Corporation? You're once a politician. Like so many trades going on around here, sir. How? What was your dream like when you were young? Was it something that I want to know how your head was like when you were young?
When I was young, actually, I wanted to be a farmer. My dream here was to be a farmer. I imagined that I would have this vast acres, undulating land where I'd be farming. I imagined living in a bungalow, and I imagined having my produce during the weekend all lined up in a container trailer, taking it to the cities. But when I wanted to enter university, I wanted to go and do agriculture. My late brother, Chidia Maduekwe, said, "Hey, guy, where the hell are you going with your degree in agriculture? Who's going to give you land? That kind of vast land. It won't happen anymore. It's when you had the Okpara, M.I. Okpara, the then premier of Eastern Nigeria. Yes, they could make such lands available. My friend, go and read medicine. You have, look at your combination. You have perfect credits to go and read medicine." So from Cambridge University with your A level, medicine. And I'm a lawyer. You read medicine and
You balance the family.
because then what was running was you are the mother of a lawyer or you are the mother of a doctor. So my brother thought it would make more headline news that our mother had him as a lawyer and me as a doctor. So I don't normally like blood. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I had to go and read medicine. And incidentally, I remember this day in UCH when Professor Lorin, the famous surgeon, was doing thyroidectomy, and we were medical students standing to watch what the professors were doing. His apron was filled up with blood, a kind of bloody stained apron you see butchers, cutting goat meat or cow meat, the way they are. As soon as I saw that thing, I became dizzy. Remember, I told you I don't like blood. As a young man, if I'm fighting, I won't pull out the penknife or break the bottle, except you are the one that cut me first. Then I wouldn't know I can just, once I see the blood from my body, I can go all out to even kill you. But for me to draw the blood first, no, he said. So when I saw that thing on Professor Lorin, I became dizzy. So I didn't know that the nurse, the matron there understood. I said, hey, young man, come and sit down, have tea. From there, they walked me out of the distance. But so even when I started practice, it was still a challenge. If I'm doing, let's say, appendicectomy, where they would drape you here and there and leave a small portion of your skin or your tissue, I can always open there. I don't have the sense of it's a human body because
you can't see it. Yeah.
Face, your eye. So you only focus on the area you're walking. But if it involves, attending to women in areas that you don't see and blood is pouring, I'm always a little bit, worried. So that is the contradiction. Yeah.
Wow.
As a doctor, you expect me to, but not, so that could be part of the why I wanted to do agriculture. But I realized that it was profession I have trained, I have chosen. So along the line, I'm always very careful, make sure that I didn't have.
Yes, the question I have from what you just said is the question between what you want and what is really planned for you. So you've been a medical doctor for how many years now?
About 43 now.
43 years. From wanting to become a farmer to now professionally becoming a medical doctor. How would you say that transition worked? Because the reason I'm asking you this question is where people are usually stuck between what they want to do and what they think will happen and the fear of, this may not be for me or this may not work out. I don't even like the transition from trying to become a farmer to become a medical doctor is very huge. So anybody that is going through that surface, what did you say allowed you to allow that transition take place?
Yeah, first of all, the culture then was that as you are growing up, you are supposed to be obedient to your elders, to your brother. And being a doctor is novel. It's good news that you're a doctor. So I have no problem. I knew I could be a doctor, a good one for that matter. So when I was advised to go and read medicine, I took it up. But, being doing agriculture or being agriculturist is something I could think that came from my earlier childhood.
Yeah.
Because my father was a headmaster.
Yeah.
And we lived in rural, primary schools.
Yes.
They were always villages. So I think I grew up as a village boy. I always liked the notion of following my mother to farm.
Yes.
In the vast space of land within the primary school that my father was the headmaster. So probably that was what affected me, going back to the communities, going back to your But you will also understand that even when I became a medical doctor, I also tweaked it. I tweaked my practice of medicine towards those in the rural area. Here you find out that the geographic, demographic potentials, demographics does not favor the normal establishment of an orthodox medical practice, because you're talking about some real remote rural hamlets where you don't have more than 1,000 people, 500 people living, but you realize that they need care.
No good medical care.
They cannot have that care by government coming to set up a health center there.
Yeah.
Because considering the number of the people there, they don't merit having a health center.
Yeah.
Because you will not be able to provide the facilities, the equipment, and the human capacity to cover that health center.
Yeah.
So the only way to help pull them out of quackery, because it's found out that in such situations where there are no presence of physical structures, the quacks tend to have a field day, was to roll in mobile clinics on market days. So you find a trained nurse, a medical doctor coming in with 4x4, do some basic checks and balances of their health status, look for those. Usually in the village, you find out that many of these people, the children, they need to be dewormed.
Yeah.
So you prescribe deworming medicine and they get well. They have malaria, you treat them. The elderly ones have pain in the leg, arthritis, you give them butazolidine and all the anti-inflammatory drugs. You check their blood pressure. You find out that is better than nothing. Otherwise, if you are not there, the quacks.
A lot of people will die.
I turned my medical practice the aspect of caring for those who are in the rural area, which became the same pool which I had when I wanted to read agriculture. I wanted to go back to the rural area to do agriculture. So when I became a doctor, I still went back to the rural area. And that is what now attracted the German government support to the fact that I was doing something that was more for humanity than was for profit. Because you don't make money by going to rural. I'm cosmopolitan. I schooled in Lagos. I trained at Ibadan. So I know the virtues of living in the city. But I went into the village area as a medical doctor. I went back to the roots to dispense Medicare to those who needed it most. So I think that was what attracted the attention.
That's really amazing, sir. So amazing to hear, because what I picked up from what you said from the entire transition is, hey, as long as whatever it is you want to do it's going to benefit the public, you shouldn't stress yourself too much about trying to know how you should maneuver or be sad or pressed down about sometimes not doing what you want to do, but another career coming along the path. Because like you said, during those days, since the respect for older siblings was very intense, because older siblings could choose your careers, unlike now. Because I can't imagine my sister telling me this will come and become an engineer. It's not going to work. But then looking at it now, I now understand the concept, because you wanted this and the foundation for it was, I want to help people in the agricultural way, let me provide food for them. But God had bigger plans and said, hey, why not bring the healthcare system? And now, 43 years down the line, would you say the health system in the rural area is better with like a yes or no? Have you seen something that you'd be very proud of from that level?
There's no doubt about that. From where we took off and where we are now, there is tremendous improvement.
Wow.
You might say we are not doing anything, because that is always the tendency to say Nigeria is not working. But I must tell you that Nigeria is working. First of all, I'm telling you that at the time I graduated, they were not up to 10,000 living or dead doctors in Nigeria. You ask yourself, what was the population of Nigeria at that time? I think that was less than 80 million people.
Whoa.
The whole of the country. But today we are well over 200 million. So you can see within 40 years, we have moved from 80 million to 250 million.
So the population grew.
We have had more establishment of health centers over the country. Whether they are working optimally or not
is that different?
But remember, my own approach to medical care was integration of mobile clinic with primary health care. Because I felt that there's no amount of government building healthcare here and there
that
will satisfy the need, particularly when you find our exponential growth in population with our rural people. We needed to have a bridge for that to happen through the establishment of mobile healthcare system. If we have the mobile healthcare system, you visit the rural area, particularly on their market days, you create a certain tendency of awareness to even consummate the healthcare system. You make people get aware that this is the way to go.
Oh my God.
Medical needs.
Yeah.
Many people are not aware, so they open themselves for quackery. So if you ask me, yes, we have done better. But on the other hand, because of the exponential growth in population, Nigeria today remains a demographic disaster waiting to happen. And that's why every government that comes, they are rushing, trying, their best to make sure that they contain this disaster, that it doesn't happen. Because you have a country that is growing exponentially in population.
Yes.
The developmental processes may not be effective to meet up with the rate of our population growth.
Yeah.
If our growth is about 4 point something percent, birth rate, and then our GDP is around 4, so nothing. Economy is not meeting up with our growth. So you find out that the challenge is enormous. So in terms of medical enablement of our rural community, much still needs to be done, and much can be achieved if there is adaptation of the template for mobile health services.
So that people down in every area and every angle of the country will have access to at least a good health care.
They will have not only access. The way I made a proposal for mobile health care some time ago, but maybe it didn't get the listening ears.
Yeah.
There is no local government today now. You don't have a Nigerian doctor that is practicing medicine. I am thinking that what the government needs to do is to work. We select some Nigerian doctors in the local area.
Yes.
Let them know that you want to run a mobile clinic in the local government. Provide some mobile clinic vehicles or equipment, and give to those doctors you have selected to collaborate. Those doctors will use those mobile equipment to visit these health centers that federal government is building all over in all local government areas. Because as it is now, we cannot staff those local government health centers adequately.
Yeah.
So you need the doctors that are working in those. So there has to be a kind of a collaboration between Nigerian Medical Association and the federal government to say, in order to push universal coverage, we have a reformed National Health Insurance scheme that is now called National Health Insurance Authority.
Yes.
So part of their mandate is to ensure that not only federal government workers have insurance coverage. You want the states to work with the federal to have coverage, universal coverage. But you cannot achieve this if our rural folks, if the state do not understand, excuse me, the benefit that is going to accrue when they subscribe to health insurance. That is the role for which the doctor in the local government, working with the federal ministry or head of federal government, under the mobile health care scheme, can bring to bear at the local government. Before you know it, you have many Nigerians keying into the health insurance scheme, pulling more money resources, creating more possibilities for people to now come out when the medical mobile clinic comes. Those who may not be attended in their places of visitation can be referred to the secondary and the tertiary institutions.
Yes, Sam. So I'm really so in awe because you've been saying a lot of information, and then it just got me. I just realized that every single aspect of your life, if it's either the medical aspect or the political aspect, or even going down to conversation of during the Biafran War. Like, there's always a story to tell in every single aspect. But the one that is most captivating right now is the position you're holding. You mentioned earlier that you're a politician. So along going all through your lifetime, going through different transitions, and in each particular transition, you have like huge ambitions. And not only were they mental, you started carrying them out, and you were also recognized internationally. But now, coming back to 2023, the current time we're in, and how a politician, a farmer, because I still believe that there is still a farmer, an ex-war, am I supposed to say a soldier? What you call it there? Like an ex-soldier, and so many other professional transitions you had, down now to occupying the chief executive and managing director of the Nigerian film industry. How are we now back to the Nigerian film industry? How did you land in such transition?
Yeah. Thank you so much for this question. One, I've explained that in 2014, the then General Muhammad Buhari became our president, appointed me as the director of media for the Buhari support.
So that was during the first time when he was trying to get into power the first time as the president.
As a democratic president,
yes.
That's 2014.
Yes.
So he appointed me. So I worked closely with him as his director of media. As a presidential aspirant, I was with him as he toured all over the country, meeting delegates, in his private jet with other people like the former minister for humanitarian affairs, Sadia El-Rufai, the former governor, his PS, Abasariki, General Indi Gaba, and many other. There were only 14 of us. So when it was time for the primaries, I followed him to Lagos. We us as the media group. So we were in the media. We won the election, the primaries. He became the candidate. So all other media teams of other aspirants like Atiku Presidential Media, like Isanda Isa, Orocha Okorocha, and Kwakwa. So they all fused into one.
Wow.
It became the Presidential Campaign Council, the media team. And then Garuba Shehu became the director of media. So we worked under the APC media and with Rotimi Amechi as the director general of the Presidential Campaign Council. I guess after the election 2015, we won. And we are happy that we won. And then by 2017, I was appointed. I had my name appointed to head Nigerian Film Corporation. You may interested to know that Nigerian Film Corporation is also one of the media agencies of government under Ministry of Information and Culture. I guess being here could have been because of my role in the media as we are campaigning. But besides that, you should know that as a politician who ran election and won election in 1992 and became chairman House Committee of Defense, and being a graduate of the prestigious University in Ibadan, a graduate is somebody who has been to school and who is qualified to administratively, play a role in any government agency. So with all those things combined, I was appointed to be the chief executive of Nigerian Film Corporation. And it's very simple. What is the mandate of the film corporation?
Yes.
You look at the mandate and then you enrich yourself with knowledge as it concerns the mandate, and seek to it that under your watch, that the film corporation is able to deliver on their mandate. And to that, I guess we have done.
Okay, sir, let's speak about the Nigerian Film Corporation. Can you tell us a little about the Nigerian Film Corporation for the sake of the audience?
Nigerian Film Corporation is a multi-layered agency of government that is centered around galvanizing the development of the film industry in the country, charged with the mandate for film production, for domestic consumption locally, and for export, even distribution, be able to come up with the human capacity of that film development process. And we have one of the best film schools in Africa. That's the National Film Institute, which has produced many very top-notch, Nigerian cinematographers, scriptwriters, producers, and all that, whose work all over the world speak for itself, and whose role in the film industry is very pivotal, because you find out today many universities are now having the Department of Film and Theatre and Film. Yes. It was borrowed from the curriculum of the National Film Institute. Wow. So we, as a government agency, have been on the front burner in leading the development of film in Nigeria. You recall that the Nigerian Film Corporation came out as the federal film unit, which itself came out as the colonial film unit. Wow. So you can look at Nigerian Film Corporation as an agency that has been in existence even from the colonial days. It might interest you to know that the first film in Nigeria was shot in 1904 in the ancient city of Jos.
In Jos? Jetta. Wow.
That's where the first film in Nigeria was shot, under the colonial film unit.
Everybody would think it's Lagos.
I'm telling you, Jos.
Wow.
Under the colonial film unit, which is a precursor to Nigerian Film Corporation. So Nigerian Film Corporation is a big parastatal of government,
yes,
rich in knowledge, rich in capacity, rich in enablement, particularly when it concerns the audiovisual industry. So we can't take it for granted that what is happening today in Nigeria in terms of the audiovisual has no footprint of the Nigerian Film Corporation. No, that's not true. And so we have laid the foundation. There are still many rooms to gather, and the government is very desirous, particularly to create an enabling environment that will be training people, our young minds, so that, like I said, the issue of demographic disaster could be averted. Today we have over 168 hectares of land in Jos, which is being, rapidly developed with a view to transforming to becoming the very first film university in Africa. So National Film Institute, with the way government is investing in them, with the way foreign donors are coming in, particularly from Germany, from France, from South Africa, from Canada, from United States, we are looking forward to becoming the very first African reference film university.
So amazing, sir.
Here in Nigeria, here in Africa, here in Jos. That is what's happening with Nigerian Film Corporation.
Jetta. So do you know why I'm so impressed? Because I'm sure you agree with me that the Nigerian film industry has it has grown so big. Like, our movies are everywhere. Our movies are even showing in international cinemas. We have international celebrities now. We even have, I'm very sure it's just a matter of time before our own Nigerian celebrities will start getting nominated for the international awards and whatnot. But then what filmmakers always keep complaining about is that there's always a problem when it comes to the government. They always talk about different, rules or taxes or things that are just obstructing them. So there are a lot of rumors about, government is not helping filmmakers. Because now the good thing is that a boy in his house can wake up and with just his phone, he can actually shoot a movie with just his phone. And that's where we thank technology for taking it advanced. So what would you say to us? We are always like, government is not helping us. Government, they're not helping filmmakers. There's no money. There's no money. What's this conversation with government and not having funds, especially in the film industry?
It's a wrong notion. Government exists to develop all sectors of the economy. Government understands that the audiovisual sector is a low-hanging fruit for which, if tapped into, this issue of demographic disaster will be greatly resolved. It is wrong notion when you say government is not helping. Government can help to the limit of their ability. If government is not helping, government will not be attracting bilateral agreement, whereby other countries are coming into Nigeria to see what they can do to support and help government establish a very robust audiovisual agreement. I just told you that Nigeria today is running a master's degree in film culture and archival studies.
Wow.
And I said that is the only one of it in Africa. So if government is not helping, we will have such program here in NFI. But the problem is that most of our young ones do not even want to understand what is being done by government so that they can tap into it. I signed the very first co-production agreement between Nigeria and any nation in 2020. I came in 2017. Nigeria had no co-production agreement with any country. I signed the very first one with with France. Up to today, no filmmaker in Nigeria has come to tap into the possibilities that exist under that agreement. Our former president, President Buhari, signed with the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, audiovisual cooperation agreement between Nigeria and South Africa. How many of our filmmakers have tried to tap into that? We hold a national film festival called the Zuma Film Festival. Because we cannot be a filming nation and we do not celebrate cinematic excellence. But you find Nigerians who want to travel to Cannes in France for Cannes Film Festival. They want to go to Burkina Faso for its FESPACO. They want to go to Toronto International Film Festival. They want to go to Durban. They want to go to Sundance. But they don't think about their own film festival. We need to grow. And the same government is not helping. We mount film festival here in Abuja, which Abuja today, the FCT, have collaborated with us for the next 10 years.
Wow.
So the Abuja will make provision of facilities like the International Conference Center, like hotels, like vehicles, like so many other things, free of charge.
And
the Nigerians are not coming to attend the film festival. They say government is not helping. Or if you invite some of them, they want you to pay their flight ticket. They want you to put them in Nikon, luxury or Nikon Transcorp because they say they are stars. But when they go to Toronto or Sundance or Durban Film Festival, nobody cares about how they come. Now we are in this country to build this country together. They don't take the hand of fellowship from government. I just mentioned to somebody, Bank of Industry has over 25 billion naira for the creative industry.
Wow.
How many people go to tap into that money? Last year when we had the Zuma Film Festival, the Minister of FCT, Chidia Maduekwe, came and made a policy declaration that if you are filming in FCT, you'll be given 35% rebate.
Wow.
How many people have applied? It's there. It was on NTA. It was on ARI. It was on the... How will you say you don't know when it was the public? We made the press releases about it. The point is that people are more interested in just going their own way instead of having a handshake with government.
Yeah, right.
They should believe in government. During Goodluck Jonathan, they had what they call the Project Nollywood. Government released billions of dollars. Yes, for the industry on 9 eras in the Ministry of Finance. Government released. People collected that money as I speak. Nothing happened with those money. So now government decide this time to now give such money to Bank of Industry. Government is spending over 20-something billion naira to renovate the national troupe, national theater in Lagos. Not only renovate, but build studios that are world class, build post-production and pre-production studios, and so many other components that you require for the visual center. As I speak, the Lagos state government is building Lagos Film and City Sand Village, somewhere in Ekpe. So, how can you say government is not interested? Government is for their own interest. Is interested in the industry and is doing all they can. It is for our people to be less, repulsive to this government agenda and come close, study it, follow it line by line, and see how they can adopt it.
Sir, I really, really appreciate how you are calling everybody out because, people are quick to call out, oh, government, they're not helping this. But I like how you explained all these things, because I'm also quite thinking, okay, I don't know that. But then you said it was all over the news. So it was my fault, like, I don't know the news. Because if you follow, let's say, the current generation now, everybody says like, but you didn't put it on your Instagram, but you did not tag us, but you did not, because like everybody's always trying to move towards social media, and they feel like, oh, let the government agencies too try and follow. Because the truth is that in other countries, it is like they're based on development. But you're absolutely right by saying government can still not do it alone without the help of others as well. It's a help me and help you situation. If we're going to look at Hollywood would not be where it is if not because the actors were always stepping out. You see, you gave an example with all these film festivals. If America, they're having their Oscars or any film festival, their celebrities come out, they show up, they make the whole world want to wish that they should be a part of that. But if we only had something like that in Nigeria, which we know we can have, it's just up for our celebrities to come and partner with the government. Okay, let's package the government. If we're complaining that the government, they are not doing this, how can we come in, help them package and move forward? But then now coming back to it, sir, this issue of funding that I'm talking about, you just mentioned that like the bank, you said the World Bank or the Bank of Industry has 25 billion released for the creative industry. So it means if any creative from any sector wishes to want to seek funding or sponsorship, they can apply through those means. Even though there's sometimes, that argument of connections. If you don't know anybody inside, if you don't know anybody that can help you follow up, all these things with accessibility, like having access to all these types of funding. The thing now is that with the way the Nigerian film industry is going, with the way the creatives are coming up, and also the way the government is, what would you say would be the best way to have a sort of connection between all these people? How is it, like we're talking about solutions now, from all your like experience, what would you say what should be done for this kind of merge? Because there is a merger, but like, how can we develop this? How can this relationship be as strong as how it is outside the country?
Thank you for this question. As you already know, part of the solution is what you are doing right now. By conducting this interview. It's my hope that the awareness will be created, and then many people can come asking questions. We have zonal offices, starting with Lagos, Ikeja, and Ikoyi, a very prestigious location. We found out that having zonal offices means that people cool in their own zone, link up with Nigerian Film Corporation and say, what do we need to do? Or what do you have for us? How do we solve this problem? Which means if we have in Lagos or the Southwest, we have in Kano, we have in Yola, we have in Abia, we have in Delta. So we are well covered. Entire force, we have our zonal office again, headquarters in Jos. So we are well covered across the 6 geopolitical zones. And to just let you know how we have always carried the experience of one phase in my life to the other.
Yes.
When I came to Nigerian Film Corporation, I felt that part of the challenge of people coming to Jos to gather the audiovisual, training ability is distance. So today we have, based on approval of government, we have 3 mobile audiovisual platforms, which is like a moving school.
Yes.
It's not been done before. We've created it.
Wow.
With the approval from the National Assembly and Budget. So we have a mobile film school.
Yes.
We draw that film school to any location. We mount it there, 40-feet trailer, articulated that can expand, take up to 50, 60 people in one go with a production studio in there. So why did we create this mobile audiovisual, platform? So that we create more awareness. We reach people in their local government. We train them. We leave startup packs. Then they know they have to come to Jos for more admission. So we are doing all that so that the awareness is created. And for people to believe, it's why we have the wrong orientation, thinking that the best is not in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We always think that we need to go out. We have it here. We have it here in Jos, in LFI. We are good.
Yeah.
And even when the foreign partners come, they appreciate our students. I'll give you an example. Netflix gave scholarship of about 50 for the entire Africa.
50
scholarship.
Wow.
Netflix.
For the entire Africa?
Yeah.
Just 50.
But NFI won 48% of that scholarship. What? Yes, NFI.
Oh, we don't know this.
Is there? Again, it was circulated.
Because that was
one of the students, young girl like that won the scholarship today. And Netflix has contracted her to be doing production for them. She's still a student in NFI. A
student?
Yes.
So, sir, because I was going to bring back the question of international recognition, because I remember when you said signing, if the government did not allow such collaborations, there's no way industries like Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these people will come to even meet Nigerians or Nigerian filmmakers or investors to say, okay, come, let's do this sort of thing together. It is because the government has given room for that. But sometimes the accolades are not really given. So I really understand looking at it from your point of view now, because when they are saying two sides of the story, now I'm seeing it. If civilians or people in the creative are saying, oh, the government, they are not supporting us, it goes both ways as well. Because coming back to this thing of, I wanted to say like, the thing of like awards now, what people like, creative industries being recognized for their work, in the same way everybody want that. If there was some sort of, or could they be like with the Zuma Festival coming up, is there a segment of like awards?
Yes, of course. We give award. We have the Zuma plaque. If you Google it, you will see the Zuma plaque, which again I created using the signs and symbols of Nigeria. It's like this. One representing River Niger, the other one representing River Benue, and the base is like a delta representing the treasure base. Then the open savannah where the Zuma is written in the savannah of the north. So the agricultural lands of the north. That's what we give.
So can I ask you?
Don't of Fame Award, yeah.
Can I ask another question? A personal question which is just troubling my mind. Why do you now think, for example, the AMVCA's African Magic Viewers Trust Award, which we can agree can be, I'm not sure, but I want to believe that it's a private organization and they are foreigners. Why do you think the AMVCA Awards is bigger than the Zuma Festival, which is supposed to be the biggest award or biggest festival for Africans, particularly Nigeria, because we hold all the numbers, we hold all the talents. This is supposed to be our award that everybody in the world should be trying to get. Why do you think people don't hype these festivals or these award ceremonies than the private ones?
Okay, first of all, like you call it private, which means those promoting it have more liquidity to draw around. Secondly, it has been running much earlier than when I reactivated Zuma.
Yeah.
Before I came into office for 5 years, there was no Zuma Film Festival.
Wow.
And then the budgetary of Zuma has been very minimal. But the good news is that after 3 years of talking with the Minister for FCT, it was accepted. Yes. Yeah, it was accepted. But things don't just happen like that.
That's true.
They have other things they're doing. And FCT have signed a collaboration agreement with Zuma to be the host city.
Wow.
And I just did the last one in May last year. Again, for our people to attend Zuma, there's a challenge because they want you. How can you?
Which is very unfair.
How can you gather 2,000 people here? You want them to be under your sponsorship?
No,
it's not possible. So those are the things. But I can tell you that we are growing.
Yeah.
And this year's Zuma, in fact, last year everybody said, "Wow, it has never happened before." But this year is going to be far bigger, better than last year. So with that, we start assuming the international stock, structure, whereby, people will now know they have to come.
Yeah.
A question of mobilizing interest, like I'm talking to Afri-Exim Bank.
Yeah.
By the time Afri-Exim Bank comes in, we are reaching to some sponsors. This year, we may have more sponsors than just FCT. If we have all that kind of money will be there.
Because now is an issue, is a thing of government supporting government. And I like the fact that, sir, you mentioned it because you are trying to make everybody understand that this is a journey.
Yeah.
It can't happen fast. It can't happen within one day, but we're on our way there. And the only way we can move faster is if we move collectively.
Sure.
So it's very important for the listeners to listen attentively and know that it is time we support our own, which we do. Because I'm sure, look at the music industry. You can already see, but I'm sure maybe from the governmental aspect. But then looking at it now, since we're talking about Nigerian Film Corporation, it is very, very important for everybody, especially the listeners, whether you're in the creative industry or not. I'm sure you have followed this conversation to know where it was leading towards. And now I'm very passionate about it because I'm like, this is definitely something. And if we all come together, it's going to be the biggest thing ever. So I'm definitely with you 100%. And in every way we're going to support because we do want this. And we shouldn't even always wait for the government because I know the Nigerian Film Corporation can get to a stage. It's even on its way that they can fund it themselves. The industry is there. People are willing to spend any amount of money for it. People are willing to fly from all over. But it is really ridiculous for Nigerians to not expect the Nigerian government to sponsor their hotel and all these things you're saying. How do you now want... You already know the condition or the situation with these industries. How do you now want them to do this? But you are willing to spend millions of naira, even on your dress. What the celebrities will wear itself will be in thousands of dollars and flying out there. So definitely we are not in support of things like that. And we're very happy, sir, that you were very open with this conversation. So people really, really know what's going on in that industry. And we are very happy to see that, progress is being done towards that side. And coming back before we, sir, before we're trying to round up, coming back at it, we've spoken about the Nigerian Film Corporation. We've spoken about the future, which is particularly the promotion of the Zuma Film Festival, because it does start with promoting, should I say, social engagements. Then people will not be like, okay, these people, what are they doing? Then you start putting eyes into the film industry. People that are going into filmmaking should not be saying, I must go to London Film School, I must go to New York Film School. Yes, we all understand why they want to go there, quote unquote recognition. But the first African university is about to be established. Everybody will want to be, and there's a reason, because foreigners don't do things without anything. If they are indeed coming into Nigeria trying to support all these things, they know what they are seeing in that industry. So, sir, now, is there something that you say to that young filmmaker or that young creative that is coming up and is following this conversation, listening to everything that you've said and everything? What would you say to that young filmmaker that is trying to start? No private support, no government, not knowing that there's a private support or a government support. What would you say to that young person that's coming into this industry?
Thank you. It's a very beautiful question. I would want to ask the young man to start with vision. He must be able to vision as to where he is going. He must be able to focus on who he think is his role model. There must be that kind of determination that I am going to be the African Spielberg or whatever that person comes on. So with that, he will now go a step further to acquire the training that is required. Because your successes are depending into how many hours of training that you have packed into your enterprise. Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali, whichever one we want to call him, was a successful boxer, globally known because he spent so much time in training and perfection. So our young ones going to this project will do better if they have spent time in training. So once that is done, of course, there's the success of it cannot manifest if you did not take cognizance of the business side. So you go to the business side and you may not be jack of all trade. You may not be good in the business side. You look for a manager who will take care of the business side and do what needs to be done so that your effort, once you've dot your I's and cross your T's, shall not be wasted.
And any other advice to the people now? You earlier mentioned some names that you were very proud of, like our Nigerians that made us very proud in the film industry. what would you say to the ones that are up there? Not necessarily up there, but they've done us proud. You know, sometimes they want to hear words of encouragement, especially for a person that is holding your political position as the chief executive of the Nigerian Film Corporation. What would you say to those that are now doing out there, making good movies, putting our names out there, making the Niger culture, the Niger entertainment recognized? What would you say to those people?
I want to thank you for putting Nigeria on a positive map of the global world, because we remain proud Nigerians because of people like you. You are the passport for which we cross the boundary, the frontiers of the global divide. Anywhere I go, any function, I proudly wear my Igbo cap and say, "I'm in Nigeria." Because of the success you made in the several music releases you have made, because of the success you made in several, motion picture production you have been part of, you cannot but be proud when you talk about films like The Wedding Party, films like Alikulakbo, films like the ones that Kunla Foloya and Co have been producing, and many more. So we are proud of you because you're making Nigeria have a breath of fresh air in the global community. And please, remain resolute.
Thank you, sir. And sir, of course, you forgot to mention that your door is always open.
Of course.
Anybody, because literally you just allowed me have this kind of important conversation with you. And I'm so grateful for that, for allowing my platform to be the space for everybody to see this, because we do know that the government, regardless of whatever they will say, they still care. So thank you so much. This is to all the viewers. I have Dr. Chidia here with me. I know we want the conversation to keep going. I know I really want it to, but because of time. But like he said, his doors are always open, and you should support the Nigerian Film Corporation, support the Nigerian entertainment, support anything made in Nigeria, support everything Nigeria. We would love to see you at the Zuma Festival. So when is the Zuma Festival?
1st to 10th December.
30 December gang. We're going to start it here in Abuja. 30 December gang. 1st to 10th of December. You are hearing this here for the first time on my SuperStory podcast. The Zuma Film Festival is going to go on the 1st of December to the 10th of December here in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. There's no traffic in Nigeria. It's not as bad as the one we have.
Yeah, be a jam every night.
Really, sir?
Yeah.
How?
Every night. One night, one jam.
You're already seeing the vibe is already here. So see, guys, when they're always talking about government, this government, that government, this government, that, you have heard it. He's here. He has answered it. And it's our fault. It's partially our fault as well. But now that we know, let's support it. And we're praying, reaching out to the big private industries as well to please come and align more with the government. Give space more to the filmmakers. They don't know this. They don't. They really do not, sir. Even though because of today, I will always think it's the government and there's no funds, no money in Nigeria. They only care about politics. But now we're hearing it for the first time. We can really do this. And thank you so much, Dr. Chidia. I wish this conversation could really, really go on. Thank you so much, sir. And amen, sir. I will tell you for a fact that you have really done it. Everybody that will watch this podcast, that will listen to this episode, will definitely be enlightened. Thank you so much, Dr. Chidia.
It's been my pleasure once again to have you.
Back to my SuperStory podcast audience. You've heard it from my SuperStory podcast. I'm so happy that you stayed to the end to listen to this amazing episode. This is one of the episodes that I promise you've never really heard of from anywhere. And I'm so happy that you stayed till the end. Until next time, we have another special guest coming up. We always have the right content. See you next time. We're out.